On time race review. So, this is the one for Talladega. Uh, so, I kind of, don't think I missed anything. But I might have missed something from the week leading up to the race. Oh, well, I guess there's something I'll get to in a minute, but it's related to during the race. But I'm sorry if I did. So, it's kind of been a thing we've known about for a while, but just in case or for context, I guess. The Todd Gilliland, who normally drives the 38 for Front Row Motorsports, was driving the 36 for Front Row Motorsports this week, and Zane Smith was in the 38. Don't ask me why. Front Row Motorsports just out here doing Front Row Motorsports things. Which also happened like 2 laps into the race. Michael McDowell doing Michael McDowell things. He 360'd again. He didn't keep coming quite as cleanly, but he had a tire go down, and I believe he also hit the wall and ended up spinning in front of the field, well, like in the middle of the group, but still in front of a bunch of cars. Somehow didn't get hit. Don't know how he lost a tire like 2 laps in, but he did. Oh, by the way, Hamlin started on the pole, which I believe was his first super speedway pole, so it's kind of cool. So, then we move on to our first set of pit stops, which were kind of painful. Tyler Reddick spun while pitting and hit the inside wall decently hard and ended up just continuing on. But then Chase Briscoe also spun and had a tire go down in the process and got stuck. And it actually did burnouts too, which was funny. So the crazy thing about that, both of them spun and ended up like in front of their groups and nobody hit them. That is crazy. Like, this is already not even done with stage 1. 3 times in the race that people have spun in front of a group and didn't get hit. Granted, this was a lot slower than McDowell's, but still. So, Chase Elliott ends up winning stage 1. By the way, in case you didn't know, he's back. Just thought you guys should know. Chase Elliott is back. Not a ton happened in stage 2, but Almirola made a last lap move and stole it from Elliott. By the way, when I say stole, I don't mean it in a bad way, because like in that situation or in situations where the leaders wreck at the end of a race or something, which may or may not be foreshadowing, normally you did put yourself in position to be there if something happens, at least. I feel like it's fine. It's a thing that happens. It's a part of racing. It always will be. So, stage 3, everybody fell apart towards the end. Oh, I forget when this was, and I forgot to write it down. Logano was about to go a lap down, and he was competing with Chase Briscoe to get the lucky dog, which, if you don't know, just puts you back on the lead lap, puts the first car that is any amount of laps down, just like the first car not on the lead lap, it puts them back on the lead lap. And he chose... Now, he didn't move while he was doing it, but he just... That's my problem. He didn't move for the pack. He stayed in the middle and forced them to go around them until his teammate picked him up mid-pack. It's not safe. Like, yes, he didn't move, but it's not safe for everybody around you, and I feel like it's not fair. Granted, they should be able to react, but also it's not their job to let them in. Like, I don't know. Not thrilled about it. So, later in the race, like, this is late in the race, I mean. Or fairly late. Noah Gragson kind of like, he gives an off-centered push to Burton, which it happens. Burton spins, actually saves it. It was insane. Logano just being a menace. He refused to check up and ended up spinning Zane Smith. Smith then spins into Austin Dillon and Austin Hill and takes Smith and Dillon out of the race. I don't get why Logano couldn't just check up. Here we are. Just Logano doing Logano things. I don't know. But also, while we're here, mentioning like Gragson and Burton, they were at the front. This was an amazing day for some guys. Like Noah Gragson, Harrison Burton, Ty Dillon was up at the front. Like, these are guys who are not at the front most of the time having a good day. And yeah, it's a super speedway, but like, this was at a point where nobody had really wrecked. There were, actually prior to this, no cars out of the race. And they were all running at the front. It's a great day for them. Even if they didn't finish well, it's still a good day. But yeah, Logano made decisions during that race that I don't agree with. And he seemed to be in the middle of everything he was on the track for. So coming down to the last few laps, Logano kind of gets pulled back from a side draft, and LaJoie gets into the back of his car. And Logano gets turned down into Suarez, and then comes back up in front of LaJoie. And, Logano, or Stenhouse, gets piled into those two. And unfortunately, Harrison Burton spins again, just in the chaos. And now they're going to overtime. Overtime anywhere is chaotic. Overtime at Talladega, never going to end well. So, overtime 1. Yeah, there were 2. Told you it doesn't end well. So, Gregson's up at the front. He gets a push from Chastain. Chastain did not do anything wrong here. He was good pushing, or pushing well all day. Gragson just got a little loose. He moved up the track, and he tried to come back down, which I would not have a huge issue with, except he wasn't clear. He comes down into Chastain, and then Gragson spins. Larson spins down into the grass and comes back up the track into the oncoming field. Obviously, this is out of Larson's control. He came back up onto the track, and Priest, who thought he could make it through, couldn't as Larson was coming back up and hits his right side pretty hard. It was bent. Granted, the right side is definitely built different than the other side. I don't think it's a huge issue because, like I said, passenger side, and, he got hit at 190, probably. Maybe, like, still, probably no lower than 170. That is going to be a hard hit. Like, there's a decent chance no matter what you do, he might not be, like, uninjured if it was the left side. So, it was just a bad situation. Because also, Priest had gotten back into the gas because he thought he was fine. So, it was a weird and bad situation for both guys. It just went poorly. But now, it's overtime 2. Bunch of guys now are concerned about fuel. Some come back down pit road just to make sure they can finish. Few guys don't. One of those guys is Kyle Busch. He was kind of supposed to. His crew chief, Randall Burnett, told him to pit. Kyle, in an interview later, said, "I didn't really want to, and it's a good thing I wasn't able to anyways." So, you can probably tell what happens. There's a picture. Not spoiling that much. Maybe I should choose different pictures. So, coming to the green, a few guys start running out. Don't remember most of them. I know Ty Gibbs was one that just pulled out of line. They come around, they make one lap. Get the white flag. So, it's all good. Wallace tries to block Blaney. He had to do it if he was going to win, but spun off of his nose and collected a bunch of guys. Busch takes the win. He was leading when the caution came out and actually ran out of fuel on the way back. And, I mean, he crossed the line, though, so it's all good. Kyle Busch won. Yeah, I don't think... Well, okay. If you have to blame the wreck on somebody, it is definitely Bubba Wallace's fault. But I don't blame him for what he did. It was racing for the win. The win and in format incentivizes that. He was doing what he had to do. Just didn't work out. And I mean, like, you can correct him all you want, but obviously, like, it's a lot easier to tell him what to do when you're sitting behind a TV or sitting in grandstands, whatever, than if you're sitting in a car going 200 miles per hour and your entire career is affected by every decision you're making. Like, so in my opinion, just, like, let it go. It happens. On the other side of this, Kyle Busch won Talladega. Actually, I saw a fact that hasn't happened since, like, 2008. The last time Kyle Busch won Talladega, I was literally a year old. That is crazy. I am so hyped. Did he deserve it? Not at all. Am I happy? Yes. Yeah. Overall, like, yeah, there wasn't a third lane all the time, but even the 2 lanes were kind of interesting. Like, it was decent super speedway racing. There were new guys coming through every now and then. I kind of enjoyed it. Obviously, like, yes, Kyle Busch, but if I'm coming from an unbiased perspective, like, the ending was awful. The wrecking at the end was just not enjoyable to watch. And, like, I was not enjoying it until literally the last, like, 5 seconds when Kyle Busch was the first one coming out of the wreck. Or, well, like, coming down the back stretch. So, I don't know. think overall it was a pretty good race. Like, the first 2.5 stages were very clean racing. So, yeah. Overall, I enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.